Good evening. Yeah, we should be starting soon. Just me on commentary today. For anyone who doesn't know, my name's Stripes. Getting the runner's last couple seconds of prep done here. We should be good to go. All right, and we're off to the races. So, a couple things to note. First off, we immediately have a difference. So, someone chose female, and Pazkallan chose to play as the male. The difference being that males in this game get a slightly higher crit rate at the expense of accuracy, whereas females do not have that, so most runners prefer female. Paz choosing the male option here, understandable, kind of just, just mashing through, so we'll see how it goes. And he is kind of rewarded for it. Slacking is really good. So for anyone who doesn't know, in the base game, in every Pokemon game, slacking has an ability called, I forget what it's called now. I forget what the name of the ability is, but basically he has to take every single other turn off. As a result, Slacking's base stats are pretty good. Turns out when you randomize the abilities that this Pokemon gets, it no longer has that detriment. So it's just a good statted poke. Truant, thank you. Yeah, so someone's mons here are Regirock and Typhlosion versus Buizel and Slacking. So obviously we talked about that Slacking is going to be good. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the nuances of someone's team. Now, I didn't get a great look at what options he had. I did get a better look at the options that Paz had, and I'll tell you this, Paz's options were much better. I think he probably chose correctly, ended up going landing on the Slacking though. Buizel is a little bit lacking. It's just the stats just aren't exactly there as much as you'd like them to be. But you know, water types are always decent, and if it survives, it'll get through. I think Buizel is kind of like a mid-lower tier kind of pick, whereas from someone, both of his picks kind of sit on that mid-lower tier. Regirock, very tanky. It's going to be kind of hard for someone to die. I say that, but he already did it. But someone's big challenge here is going to be damage output. Regirock does not do damage. It just doesn't. Its attacking stats are not good. So we definitely will have to see how that goes. As far as Typhlosion being a starter, all of the starters in this game, no matter what they are, no matter what form, whatever, pretty much all of them have enough bulk to get the job done. But, you know, only a select few of them really have the attacking stats to back that up. So Typhlosion's definitely not a great pick, but it could be worse. Paz already up to the second dungeon, which in the vanilla game is Cascade Bluffs. Sorry, looks like we're going to be sticking with someone's audio for this race, as Paz had a little bit of trouble getting his on stream. Yes, the starting Pokemon are randomized in this game, but you basically, instead of having to go through the personality quiz, you just get the list of options, like just whenever you load up the game, so you get to pick whatever you want. But yeah, moves are randomized, the Pokemon are randomized, the items are randomized, so yeah, just random. Very close between the runners here. It looks like only one floor separates them. There was a bit of an advantage to Pazkallan coming out of the Beach Cave, the first dungeon in the randomizer, which is that someone came out with a link box as the one item that he had in his inventory, where I believe Paz had some rare fossils. So rare fossils, for anyone who's not aware, are a throw item that you can throw up to 10 tiles, and the range on them is pretty liberal. You don't have to be in like a perfect line in order to hit something. But they deal a set 100 damage. No matter what the Pokemon is, it takes 100 damage. That's going to kill basically everything for the entire run, because we only do like the first half of the game. Later on, you know, you can run into a couple of things that are like, if they're really, really tanky in the vanilla game, they might end up being able to survive a rare fossil, but those are few and far between. We see Earth Power on Pazkallan's Slacking, and I think I saw Shadow Force is his main. Oh, he has Tailwind. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. But just a couple of things to note from Pazkallan's moveset. So Shadow Force is a 2-turn move. It'll hit pretty hard, but obviously it wastes some time, so you don't want to be relying on it as much. It looks like he's having to rely on it here, but you know, if it's his best move, it's his best move. Earth Power is a move that will hit everything in the room. So kind of like Earthquake, except it won't actually hit your partner. So that really can kind of be helpful later on, especially if you need to end up clearing wide rooms of enemies. Of course, the trade-off is it is a little bit less damaging. Not necessarily the best move in the game, but that said, still a decent option to have. Options are always nice. Now, he also had Tailwind, if I saw correctly, on... Yep, there it is. So that's Tailwind on the Slacking. So Tailwind is an interesting move in that any move that increases speed in this game, in the normal games, in PMD will allow you to move more than once in a single quote-unquote turn. So you can end up getting like multiple actions before before enemies are allowed to respond, which can get you out of some tight spots, and also it can really, really help on the final boss. So I don't know if that's a strategy that Pazkallan is thinking about using in this run, but it is something that's available to him, which is interesting to note. From someone, as far as I've seen movesets on his Pokemon, I do believe that I saw a Ice Beam and one other good move on the Regirock, so not going to have too many problems here. With 2 good moves, you're probably not going to... Oh, that was Body Slam. That's pretty good. So someone shouldn't have too many move problems. Most of the problems that he's going to be running into this randomizer, from what we can tell right now, are going to be simply the fact that he's running a Regirock and a Typhlosion. Not that great. Someone definitely making up some ground there. He came out of Beach Cave with like a 2 or 3 floor deficit, but he's easily closed that by now. Pazkallan has completed his Mount Horn run and is moving on to The boss that in the vanilla game is a Drowsy. In this game, it looks like it's a Sharpedo. Dodging the first rare fossil. Drowsy has a set 100 health, so as long as he hits a rare fossil there, you're golden. I will say, so there's a couple of things that I think are leading to, like, there's a very minor lead for Pazkallan right now. Very easy for someone to make up for. I will say that I think, just based off of what I've seen, and I'm certainly not the expert that some of these runners are, but Pazkallan's movement does appear at times to be a little bit more efficient. So that's part of it. You saw someone taking a couple of like walking sections here where he wasn't holding down B, not doing the dashing that we usually do in a PMD. That can definitely cost him a bit of time. If he had a good reason for it, of course, that's on him. That's good. But that might be part of why he's a little bit behind right now, in addition to the fact that his Pokemon just aren't as good. However, Stare Luck does seem to be not necessarily on Paz's side right here. Oh, there's no music in this dungeon. I hate it. So as we could see there, someone got frozen by an Ice Fang. For anyone who's not aware, Freeze in this game acts very differently than it does in the main series games. So what Freeze does is Freeze actually stops you from taking damage. So you are stuck in place. There's nothing you can do, but there's nothing the enemy can do to you. It is literally just there to waste time. A real anti-stare floor from someone here, extending Paz's lead by a little bit. Runners are still really neck and neck here, though. The thing that we're going to be watching out for across this run right now, in my mind, is just safe, cautious play, especially out of someone, because his Pokemon are not that good. If he takes a death, that could instantly lose him this close a race. Looks like the Buizel's main attacking move. I saw he had a grass move earlier. It looks like he also has Gust. So Buizel's moveset's not bad either. Oh, was he getting that body slam off of Nature's Power? Watching someone stream to see if I can get another look at his moveset. Yeah, it definitely is a bit unfortunate with someone choosing female here, because from what I saw on the early screen for Paz, he had several really good options. He had this Slacking, he had a Nuzleaf, he had a number of good things to choose from, and someone just... I mean, this Regirock is certainly not what you wanted to play the game with today. Ooh, Flash Cannon's gonna hurt. Okay, so just minor things out of someone here. I definitely would have... yeah, he's playing a little bit risky now with Regirock at such a low HP. Especially doing second attack on... I forget what the Pokemon was. But the Pokemon that got him so low, I personally would have switched with the Typhlosion. But of course, you know, moving fast. It's really hard to think of that, especially when you're trying to go, when you're trying to get through as fast as you can. No, he has Body Slam. Okay. So Body Slam, Hidden Power, Wish is the Regirock's moveset. So Wish is useful in the sense... Oh, and he's taking a heal. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. Wish is useful in the sense that it will heal you, which kind of can like let you use some safety strats without taking up quite as much time. The problem is using Wish in the first place is already a bit of a time sink. So it's good to have, but it's not necessarily something you want to rely on if you don't have to. Oh, I see. Okay, so someone going, finding a hidden stairs there and choosing to use the the heal that you can pay for in the hidden bazaar. I imagine, just given the situation that we're in, that the large reason he did that was to restore his Body Slam PP. So that hidden bazaar will heal your belly to full, your PP to full, and your HP to full. HP healing to full is usually the least significant of those because you can just wait in a room. You can just sit there and do nothing in a room that doesn't have weather. And as long as nothing decides to come and attack you, you don't have to worry about that. But the PP heal is really huge here because, as we were seeing, the Regirock was having to rely on nature's power to deal damage. Certainly want to be able to use that Body Slam if you can. It's such a better move. I also saw someone, while my eyes was on the other screen, I saw that someone did end up using Tailwind there. So that confirms that he definitely does know what that move does and the effect that it can have. Like I said, it's probably not going to do him a ton of good before he gets to the final boss, but it could save his hide once he gets to that final boss if it does end up being something difficult. So, not necessarily going to be upset to have it. Significant Globe. I like that name. Stairs Luck definitely cutting into Paz's lead here a little bit. But it looks like he was able to clear that dungeon, so there we go. All right, and it's time for the doof. Okay, so we have the Bidoof joining us here at Craggy Coast. So Paz is entering Craggy Coast here, and someone will be finishing up this Applewoods, and then we'll be joining him. So, Paz with the Bidoof here. So, for anyone who's unaware, at this point in the vanilla story, you are joined by a Bidoof who joins your team and wastes your time. It's literally all he's there to do. And if he dies, it's your fault. Too bad. Redo the dungeon. In this race, it looks like the Doof happens to be a Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd, not good. We're just gonna say it. It's not good. So this is gonna be something that definitely needs a little bit of babysitting. I don't think we've seen any important moves out of it so far. Depending on what its moveset and its IQ and, you know, its general pathing and decisions in life decide to be, this Doof can cause a lot of problems. It can also be a big help if it ends up being something good, but with it being a Farfetch'd this time, kind of doubt that that's going to be the case here. Welcome if you're joining us from SpeedGaming 3. If I'm correct, was that where Halkari was playing his match against, I forget who his opponent was this round. Carbossi? Yep, okay, Carbossi. Yeah, a little bit slow on throwing fossils instead of setting them here. But, you know, but yeah, so, yeah, so Paz has a good sizable lead here, which he's been able to basically hang on to for the entirety of this run. He kind of had like a couple floors of an advantage coming out of Beach Cave, and in reality, that lead has fluctuated a little bit, like up and down, but honestly, it's pretty much stayed that way. Oh no, the Bidoof has, I forget what the name of the item is, but he's gonna end up giving him a little bit of extra text there. So there's an ability in the game that basically tells you how many items are on each floor every time you step into that floor. We hate it because it just wastes time. A cute sniffer. Yeah, either a cute sniffer or item checker, one of the two. Either way, it's just a waste of time. It's really annoying. There we go. That puts someone to Craggy Coast. So definitely still a pretty close race. This lead has grown to the like 5 or 6 floors that we see here. However, I mean, it's still something that can easily be made up. But like at this point, really one of the big things, just to for anyone who wasn't here at the beginning of this race, one of the big things that is contributing to this race is that Paz chose male and someone chose female at the beginning of the race. It just so happens to turn out that in this particular ROM, the options for leaders on male were really, really good, and the options for lead on female were really, really bad. Which you can probably see just by looking at the fact that we have a Regirock on screen right now. Though I will say that I think they had similar or the same partner choices. I'm not sure if I believe whether I believe the Typhlosion or the Buizel would have been better. I think I personally would have chosen the Buizel, but I think that that's a really like close argument to make. Yeah, using Nature Power for stab is definitely helping. SpeedGaming, thank you for the raid. So welcome. If you are coming in, I'll go ahead and explain what's going on because we've just had a lot of people join. So, welcome to our race. This is a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky Randomizer. We are somewhat deep into the tournament now. That's been going on for about a week. And the meta's really developing really nicely. It's been a really fun tournament to watch if you have not been with us so far. But this match is specifically Someone versus Pazkallan. At the moment, Pazkallan, it does have himself a bit of a lead. Well, actually, I say that, but it has very recently shortened to only one floor. But this race is just we call it a 10 dungeon blitz format. So they're only trying to beat the first 10 dungeons of the game. That typically in vanilla game would mean that you go up to the point where you fight the illusory Groudon and defeat Upper Steamy Cave. So, like we said, some of the defining features of this particular race is the choices of who your leader is and who your partner is. One of the big first decisions that you make in the game, just like any Pokemon game, who's going to be your starter. In this race, the Pazkallan ended up choosing to play a male character. Playing male characters versus playing female characters, it does give you a different random list of options to choose from. Typically, oh wow, Pazkallan in a bit of an interesting situation here. If I were him, I don't know whether he still has Earth Power. I think he still has Tailwind though, so that will be something that he can use. But either way, so Pazkallan chose to play a male, and someone chose to play a female. Typically, most runners believe that female is the better choice. However, in this particular race, the male options for a starter were so much better than the female ones that it's given Pazkallan a bit of an advantage here. Oh, the Doof doing his classic shenanigans, starting fights that he does not need to engage in. Yeah, I'm really interested. I think Pazkallan still has Earth Power on his moveset? I might be wrong. But if he did, he potentially could have just sat there, clicked Earth Power a couple times, gotten himself a good chunk of experience. Of course, that might have been more of a waste of time than was really worth it. Kind of a judgment call there. But yeah, definitely. So one of the big things that he was engaging in there is a strategy that I think we've seen a number of runners use and is definitely very useful, is you can oh, he has fly off. Yeah. Okay. Is that so increasing speed, there are a number of items that do it and a couple of moves that do it. Increasing your speed gives you the ability to act multiple times in a turn. So if you end up in a situation like that where there's a bunch of enemies that are trying to attack you and you're just trying to run away from them and get to the stairs, if you increase your speed, you can basically run from them faster than they can attack you. Because speed mechanics in PMD are broken. Yeah, option settings. So a couple of people talking in the chat, some of our more experienced runners definitely putting in good things to know here. So a couple of options that you can change when you first load up the randomizer. Well, when you first load up your run, there are three big ones that most people choose. One as just kind of a quality of life thing, and two things that actually really do make your run faster. So there's just a speed choice that you can make in the options where you can just set all the animations to just go faster. So you literally just go into the options, choose fast. One of the most important things to do in it. The second thing that you can do is you can set far off pals. So whenever someone on your team ends up getting in a fight when they are not on your screen, that option will determine whether your camera switches away to look at them and their fight, or whether you just stick around. If you are careful about monitoring your team, it is much, much faster to not look at them. Because if you can keep watch of their health bar in another way, which I'll get to, then you don't really have to worry about whether or not they're going to die. You just kind of do your thing. And you start to pay attention to them when you realize that they might actually die. Oh, did we get a freeze here? One moment. Looks like we're having some connection issues with someone's stream. Okay, we should be good now. But either way, so yeah, Reggie Rock's such a big boy. He can't come over the internet that fast. If you are one of some of our more experienced runners in the chat, really interesting in what you guys would say. It looks like the two of the options that we had in the partner screen for our runners here were this Buizel and the Typhlosion. I really am kind of up in the air about whether which one's better. If anyone has any comments that they'd like to put in the chat about whether you think which one is better, that would probably be nice for some of our viewers to see. If there's more opinions, someone's more opinionated than me on Typhlosion versus Buizel. Once again, we currently have both of our runners in, I believe they're both in Mount Horn right now. Yeah, so we have both of our runners in Mount Horn. A couple things to note about Mount Horn. This is a 14-floor dungeon. It is the long, which therefore makes it the hardest. I was going to say Buizel has better level up move. Yeah. Yes, all the level up moves are randomized. So when Zebuz is saying that Buizel has better level up moves, he really just means Buizel has more of them. You know, if you're trying to roll a 6 on a die, rolling 5 times is better than rolling 3 times, you know? Either way, someone's moveset is really, really lacking on this Reggie Rock, and it's kind of leading to a lot of situations like with this tentacle in this room here. Like, Reggie Rock's just taking longer to get through fights. It's real unfortunate. It's definitely a factor to consider in this randomizer, just like how much damage you're able to output, how fast you can churn through enemies. You know, avoiding enemies is always the first option if you can choose it, but you got to be able to get through the fights if they do end up happening. Abilities are randomized, yep. Everything but stats and types, yep, pretty much. Typhlosion is better in every stat except HP. That makes sense. Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, lower evolutions are really buffed, especially in like the tanking stats department, just to make sure that you know, because in the vanilla base game, you're expected to take 2 first form starters through the entire game and then beat Dialga. So they needed to mess with some stats in order to make that a reasonable expectation. Reggie Rock stepped on a fiber optic cable. Okay. Wouldn't Ghost Mains be OP? That is actually a very interesting question. I think there are definitely people in the community who would say that there are advantages to choosing a Ghost type main, but there are also a lot of disadvantages. So Ghost types do have the ability to walk through walls. However, that drains your belly really fast. So unless you find an item that can help you sort through that issue, you're gonna run into a lot of problems. Also, you don't get experience, which can make some of the fights harder, cascading effects, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, you can able to avoid more fights, but also then you don't have the ability to do the fights that you can't avoid. So, yes, almost all ghosts, except for, like, Frostlass, and I think there might be one other exception. Oh, yeah, and Darkrai can walk through walls because he's basically an honorary ghost, apparently. Dustclaw? That would make sense. Yeah, stats are just dumb. You want a summary of what Pokemon Mystery Dungeon stats look like and how you can make sense of it? They're dumb. That's how you do it. Several Pokemon lose base stats evolving. Several. But they kind of have different scalings, right? So like every Pokemon ends up evolving at a flat amount to each stat. Really? I thought there were several evolutions that had lower base stats than their evolved forms. Like, I know Porygon's base stats are better than Porygon 2's. If this is what it takes for Skin to be half decent, so be it. Oh my gosh. Paz in a bit of trouble here. Paz having either Reviver Seed here. Not going to be the end of the world. I'm not quite sure how many of them he has left, so that'll be the big question with that death and with any others that he has. Both of our runners have moved on to Foggy Forest. In my opinion, any race where both runners get past Mount Horn before the other one finishes is a decently close race. So definitely seeing a real win here. But honestly, this one's coming really down to the wire. They're only one floor separated, and there are 3 more dungeons in the ROM. If you obtain a Pokemon while evolved, it can be worse. That makes sense. Yeah, decoys are really dumb in this game. Especially if you end up getting turned into a decoy, your partner stops recognizing you and will actually try to kill you. So don't use substitute. Yeah, also there aren't as many hard limits on like stat increasing vitamins and stuff like that in PMD, so you can end up super buffing like all your Pokemon. Of course, that's not really what we're concerned about in these randomizers, you know. I mean, you usually end the run at level like 15, maybe up to 20. So, like, you know, it really kind of depends. Like, we want good base stats. There are Pokemon that can scale super quickly, like Octillery, for example. Octillery is a really good Pokemon because of its base stats anyway. But if we were going farther in the game, it would get even better because Octillery gets, I think, 4 HP like every single time it level ups, it can get a lot of HP. So, you know, there are some Pokemon that are good in the vanilla game that aren't quite as good here just because we don't give them the time to scale as fast. Yeah, as I was pointing out in chat, frustration TM for Pazkallan. I don't think he will actually end up using that, given the point in the race that we are. So frustration is a move that once you can basically teach it to anything, and it does a set 45 damage as long as you don't increase your Pokemon's IQ any. So what that ends up meaning is that for the first half of this randomizer race it kills everything. Frustration is a beast. It'll kill anything. At this point in the race, not so much. We do see someone entering Upper Steamy with Paz still working on Foggy Forest. So someone jumping back out into the lead. If he's able to hold on to that, we'll have to see how the Groudon fight goes. This race is definitely coming down to the wire. Yeah, literally, if you are willing to put in the effort, you can basically make every Pokemon in this game good. And then you can be forced to go into level reset dungeons and have it literally destroy everything you love. We are using frustration, much to the frustration of the commentator. I hate this. Paz back on the same dungeon as someone, so we'll definitely have to see. At this point, I mean, it's really hard to tell because you can never really tell where your opponent is. If they knew where each other was, they would start abandoning like all safety strats and really starting to go through. So definitely we'll have to keep an eye out for if either of them does start trying to make some risky plays to get a little bit of an advantage, or if we're gonna play safe, and whether anybody will get punished for that. Yeah, not being able to watch each other is definitely a big thing about this ROM. There are remakes of Rescue Team DX on the Switch. I do want to point out for anyone in our chat who is not who hasn't seen some of these races before, we do have a lot of really nice communities surrounding the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. We have our Pokemon Mystery Dungeon speedrunning Discord, which I will get a link to you guys here in a second. If you're interested in speedrunning the game, there's also a Discord server specifically built for this randomizer called Sky Temple. If you're interested in any randomized Pokemon Mystery Dungeon stuff, I would encourage you to check out resources. You can just search for Sky Temple. I'll see if I can also get a link to that Discord as well. But yeah, plenty of resources. The community is really nice and welcoming. So if you're interested, feel free to come on by. Oh, we have a command for the PMD Discord now. Good. Did not. But yeah, also like this randomizer is Sky Temple. It's a universal randomizer for Explorers of Sky, and it does also have a lot of resources for ROM hacking if you're interested. Oh, and someone is on the final boss. Reggie Rock obstructing our view a little bit. What is this Clefairy doing? And that's GG for someone. Really good race. Really close there. And it looks like the final time for someone was 43 minutes 53 seconds. Most of our really really top runners average around somewhere between like 30s, 40s, 20s for some of them. But yeah, congratulations someone. Welcome to the stream.
Well,
Yeah, congratulations on the race. How do you feel about it?
I felt like a really rough seed, but I'm glad I never died without a reviver. Oh, I died in the first dungeon, but after that I didn't die.
Yeah, let's talk about the Reggie Rock for a bit. So, the female leader choices were not that great in this seed, really. How'd you feel about the Reggie Rock, though?
I was really bulky and pretty good, but I only had 2 moves. But Nature Power was a pretty interesting choice because I sometimes got Rock Slide, and that was a very strong move.
Yeah, that definitely does help out. So an interesting thing is that really, just to let you know, like how close this race was because it was a really good, really close race. First off, Paz is literally in Upper Steamy
Hmm.
right now, and you were actually behind coming out of Mount Horn by a couple of floors. So definitely like really efficient routing and really nice play. Got you to a really good win there. Um,
Yeah, the first couple dungeons seemed pretty slow until I got my linked moves in. But yeah, some of those layouts were really low,
yeah,
and then the luck turned around.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so one of the interesting things that was going on here is there was a bit of a disparity because I was wondering how you felt about the Regirock because and I understand like Regirock's definitely not that bad. Oh no. Sorry, I have to
Oh,
comment on this real quick. Has just died to sheer cold. Oh
oh no.
no.
Hate to see that.
Yeah, he's having a couple problems in Upper Steamy, but yeah, either way. But yeah, so Paz ended up choosing male, and all of the good leader options were hiding in the male choices. Apparently, there was a
I see.
slacking, there was a Nuzleaf. So yeah, he did end up with a little bit of a better main just because of that decision. But looks like it wasn't. It didn't end up bothering you that much, which is really good to see.
Yeah, I didn't know Nuzleaf was a good Pokemon. But
Yeah,
go
the
go ahead.
entire Shiftry line isn't that bad. I know I ran a Shiftry in the first round, and Nuzleaf and Shiftry's stats are barely different. C-Dot's a little bit below them, but it's also not that bad.
Nice. Just hope attack order doesn't exist.
Pretty much.
Hey, I'm curious
Well,
about sheer cold now. Is there a check if you're higher level, the sheer cold can't hit you?
I do not believe so, but someone can correct me in chat if there is. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, Pass found a reviser seed. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
not the easiest of runs though, but how did you feel about your rare fossil use? Were you able to keep your rare fossil count pretty high throughout that?
Yeah, I didn't find a few in the beginning, but once I got them, I was able to keep them. And especially with using Link moves to one-shot Pokemon too. It felt pretty good.
Yeah, that definitely also helps. I was also really interesting, especially because it's interesting to see if people take TMs into account in these kind of randomizers because I know that like for me personally like poison types end up being a like big draw because you usually end up finding sludge bomb before you get to Groudon, so that can be a big boon. But um Yeah, like I said, I mean, I think the big interesting thing in this race in particular was just that difference because the partner and leader combos were just so wildly different.
Hmm.
Both of your plays were pretty good. I didn't see so I commentated on your last match and you were using like a lot of safety strats there. Did you not feel as much of a need in this one? Because I noticed that like you weren't doing as much healing. I think I saw you use a
I did use Wish a few times since that heals you up.
yeah. Yeah, that also definitely helped, and you ended up using the secret bazaar heal once. I think,
Yeah,
that was mostly for body slams, right?
yeah, for PP.
Yeah, that's what I thought, just to kind of, make sure.
Now if something happened.
No, sorry, did I cut off there?
I don't know, you just laughed for a
Okay.
bit. But yeah, if I'm like low on HP, I sometimes stare heal because it's not too much time loss.
Yeah, definitely not too much time lost. Luckily, with a Pokemon as bulky.
Sorry, you cut off.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep cutting off in these final interviews now. Anyway, I was saying with as bulky a Pokemon as Regirock, you definitely didn't end up having to use some of your safety strats as much. Definitely, it didn't end up having to heal as much, which was good to see.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and briefly talk about it while we're still waiting for Paz to finish. It looks like your next match is versus Eponymous now that you've won against Pazkallan. How do you feel about that race coming up?
Uh, I'll just keep playing my game, which is I guess going pretty safe.
Yeah, it definitely does seem to be. And your times have been really impressive. Like 43:55 on a bad ROM is not at all that bad.
Hmm.
Oh, Pazkallan dying here to a revisor seed. That's so hard to see.
Oh, looks like he forfeited.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean when you get trolled and steamy that much and you know the race is already over, I definitely don't blame him at all.
Hmm.
Uh, so we should be getting Paz in for an interview here really quick. What does Revisor do? Yes, no bear. So uh welcome, Paz. Gonna finish an explanation real quick, and then I will gather some of your thoughts. So, Revisor Seed is there to look like a Reviver Seed, which is a very useful item, but it plays a joke at the end and just kills you anyway. You can eat it for belly, yeah.
It is
But
kind of funny.
welcome, Paz. How do you feel about the
Hi.
race?
Honestly, I did way better than I expected. It
Yeah,
looks
you
like
did
the
really
practice
well.
somewhat paid off. My goal was sub
Hmm.
50.
Nice, yeah, and that steamy cave was really trolly. I apologize for that.
It
That
it
was
kept happening, and then it crashed. That is the cherry
Oh
on the
no.
cake.
oh, your game crashed?
Yeah, it fully crashed. That's why I
Oh
forfeited on the
no.
race time after the revisor seed.
No. So
It's just
apparently
they
we have
died of
an
laughter
effective revisor
so
seed
much that
now.
it died.
That's so
The
unfortunate.
intended feature? Probably not.
No, no, totally intended.
But yeah, besides that unfortunate rubbing a little bit of salt in the wound, um, but yeah, no, so I actually think it's really interesting because the last two dungeons there are really what ended up deciding it for you. So Paz, like definitely you can hold your head up because like you were actually in the lead coming out of Mount Horn, which I don't know if anybody might have evidence to the contrary. This might be the first race that the first person out of Mount Horn didn't end up winning. So
Wow.
Well,
The Steam
yeah.
Cave.
I mean,
Yeah, the
part of
Steamy
it.
Cave, and I mean, someone got to Steamy Cave before you, so that Foggy Forest was just a little bit slow as well. And a lot of that can end up being, you know, it can be a little bit of stair lock, a little bit of fossil lock, but
Yeah, I think my
Oh, I
the
don't. I
dungeons
didn't
in the
find any
first half were way
fossils
worse
after
than
that.
later. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. So someone also pulling up, because this is the big thing that I find interesting in this ROM. Paz, you chose male. Are you aware of the differences between male and female in this game?
I am really not. I just chose the first one.
Okay. So just an interesting thing to note, just to point out. Oh, there's a shift tree there as well. Is this the partners or the main someone?
Shift tree was the partner.
Shift tree was a partner. Oh, interesting. Okay. Surprised neither of you took that. Shift tree is actually really
Well,
good.
I
In
didn't.
case you didn't know.
I don't think I thought shift tree when I selected partner.
I
Yeah,
don't
very-
know who's
whatever.
good. I just remembered seeing slacking near the top of the list, and I was like, ooh.
Oh man,
Yeah,
someone,
Slacking's
did you
pretty good.
pass up on the opportunity to go double Reggie?
Yeah, I kind of did. I didn't think Reggie Ice was that good when I looked at it.
Who were
It's
you,
not.
someone?
It's not.
I was a Reggie Rock and a Typhlosion.
Yeah, so interesting to note. So obviously, male and female get different choices. Paz, your decision ended up paying off. The male choices were far superior to the female ones, but most runners do actually end up going with female. Just to let you know, because males in this game actually lose a little bit of accuracy on all of their moves in favor of an increased crit rate. So
Interesting.
just a minor thing, like really minor optimizations. Honestly, if it were me and I knew the difference between the male and the female options in this, I still would have chosen male. Those male pokes are so much better.
Yeah.
But really like interesting to note there. I also noticed Paz did how much did you change your settings in this ROM?
I only changed it to fast.
Yeah, that makes sense. There was definitely a couple times when you would have made up a little bit more ground by switching the faraway pals to staying on yourself instead. But that's minor optimizations,
I tried to
honestly.
do that. I didn't know if the IQ option for that, not the IQ, the tactic option for that was available.
Well, if your
That's
Pokemon gets
not in
separated, then it saves time, but it doesn't happen too much
Yeah,
Oh,
it
you
doesn't
mean
end up
the
making that big a
panning?
difference.
in the options. The far off
Oh,
pals.
that. Okay.
Yeah, if you want
I
to pull
didn't
it
know what
up,
that
someone
was.
you can pull it up in the options. So yeah, so the three things that people typically change in their options is you just go to other options, you turn it from slow to fast for your speed, and then there is an option for far off pals that goes between look and self. If you turn it to self, then when a fight is happening off screen, you are not forced to watch it. So you can definitely save some time there.
Interesting.
Yeah. But Paz, I believe that since this was a losers bracket match, that will be the
This is
end of
the end of the
your
road for me.
yeah, a little bit of
Yeah.
the end of the road, unfortunately. How do you feel about the tournament though? Or, definitely because you definitely performed well. So like definitely I would not be too upset about
Oh, I'm
your
definitely not. This
performance
was a
here.
great time.
Yeah, definitely good to see.
Mhm.
Definitely hope that we're able to organize more PMD stuff in the future. And someone definitely good luck on your match versus Eponymous.
Thank you. It looks like the Reggie Ice has Draco Meteor, which is an option.
Oh, wow.
Not a good one, but an
Yeah.
option.
Doesn't move as much, so I guess it's usable. Could he still have a move?
Oh, yeah, who was Groudon in this one? I didn't get to see.
It was I forget.
I forget too. No, it was
No.
a Clefairy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Someone, did you use an item on the Clefairy to make it run away?
Yeah, I threw a Y specs on it, and it couldn't
That makes
see.
sense.
Because I
That
thought it
makes,
had Steel Wing, and it hurt.
yeah. But either way, so uh congratulations someone on your win on the match, and commiserations Paz, but hopefully we will be able to see more out of you when we do more events for PMD. Do
Oh, I'll
either
be back.
of you have any more comments on the race?
Thank you for
No, I
watching.
think it was a fun race, and yeah, thank you all for watching. Thanks for hosting.
That was a great race. It was a great seed.
Yeah.
Very
Quote
rusty,
unquote.
but yeah.
If you chose male, it was a pretty good seed.
Yeah.
But yeah, for both of our runners, my name is Ben Stripesada, and thank you for joining the PMD tournament. Oh, before I go, actually, real quick, so this was our last match of today. Tomorrow we are kicking it off at noon Eastern time with Rob the Gamer versus Yimo. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very busy day for PMD, so I'm going to go ahead and go through these all these matches, but I'm going to go through a little fast. So tomorrow, noon, Rob the Gamer versus Yemo. 3 p.m., Inferno Bren versus Aerophile. 4 p.m., Cabral versus Like a Noob. 5 p.m., HG Finn versus J Rachi. And 7 p.m., Diego Lazo versus Blanc. So like I said, very busy match to with the PMD tournament matches tomorrow. Keep an eye on SpeedGaming because we're going to be basically taking over it for the entire evening tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, and hope to see you guys again tomorrow.